Y'all, when I saw it earlier today, it was at $90,000. It is officially at $105,000. And the comments are unreal. No one has given their name. Everyone is, of course, anonymous. Some people are giving 20, some 11, some 10, and each one of them is saying unbelievable things about having to be around. Yeah. They didn't say the word, but it's exhausting, and it's this and it's that.
Oh, well, would you look at that? Suddenly, here comes the donation police. Here comes the comment police crawling out of the woodworks. Isn't it funny how this goes? Where were these people over the last few weeks? As Carmelo Anthony was raising hundreds of thousands of dollars simply for killing a white child, where were these people? I can tell you where I was at. You guys can tell me where I was at. I was right here. I was right here calling out the crazy, racist comments. I was right here questioning if it was okay for these donation platforms to allow racially fueled donations, racially fueled campaigns. And guess what? All of these people said it was okay. All of these people were saying crazy, racist stuff in support of Carmelo, crazy, racist stuff against Austin Metcalf and his family. They told me that I was a bad person for questioning if this should even be allowed, but now the story has changed. Now the pendulum has swung a little bit, and all of a sudden, these people are in an uproar. Not because a black kid had a knife plunged into their chest by a white kid, no, but because some white lady said the N-word. Oh my God. Some white lady said the N-word. Now all of a sudden, now these people are paying attention. Now all of a sudden, oh, this isn't okay, but it was okay for Carmelo Anthony. And this is why I told you guys from day one. It's the rules for thee and not for me. We want y'all to abide by certain rules that we don't have to abide by. And that's what you're watching right now. Anyone that has the audacity to fake outrage about this woman raising money from what she said that didn't have anything to say about Carmelo raising money for literally killing someone, they're hypocrites. Their opinions mean nothing. Their opinions mean absolutely nothing. Do I think it's absolutely ridiculous that a woman is raising hundreds of thousands of dollars from calling someone the N-word? Yeah, that is ridiculous. But it's even more ridiculous and disgusting that someone raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for simply killing a white kid. It's like I told you guys years ago when I started this channel. We now live in clown world. Back then, people didn't understand what I was talking about. Now, people better understand what I'm talking about when I say we live in a clown world now. And the Carmelo Anthony case, it set a new precedent moving forward, folks. That, hey, people can do horrible things, they can do terrible things. As long as there's a racial aspect involved, we're going to raise money, right? The race war is being fought right now, not with weapons, not with fists, but through donations. And yeah, it's really crazy to watch this play out. But I'm not in control of what's happening. I am simply a spectator with a platform and a voice that I use to try to make sense of these things with all of you guys at home. And yeah, it's crazy. Like, look, Carmelo Anthony is raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for killing a white kid, getting tons of donations. This woman's raising hundreds of thousands of dollars, getting tons of donations for calling a kid the N-word. Meanwhile, I can't even get a $5 donation for putting in 12 hours of work every day trying to cover these ridiculous stories in clown world. But with that being said, I see all of this outrage coming, right? I see all of this outrage being drummed up for Shiloh. And even though I don't agree with what she did or what she said, I do not take the outrage seriously. Because it's just a word. And just a couple of weeks ago, we saw a white kid lose their life, and then we saw an entire community rally around and make fun of that kid. And dox that kid's family, swat that kid's family. They spread lies, they spread fake police reports, fake autopsy reports. They did the most disgusting things imaginable, and no one cared. No one made a big deal about it but me. The media totally ignored it, but now we're all supposed to collectively come together as white people and condemn the mother that called some kid an N-word. A word that black people use nonstop all day long, yet for some reason they're so fragile that if someone else says it, they think that it's just the end-all, be-all of everything. The world ends. You must lose your life. You must lose your livelihood. We said this word 44 times on the drive to the park as we were listening to NBA Youngboy in the car. But now that you said the word, your life must end. You must lose your job. We must dox you. We must threaten you. Damn, we might even kill you. All over a word? No, that's not how things work. Maybe that's how things were working, but it's not how things are going to work moving forward. That's just not the way things are going to work anymore. And it's like I've been telling you guys for years. These labels that they try to place on people, eventually those words and those labels have no meaning. People don't care anymore. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. We're not going to continue living in a world where people get to celebrate the murder of white kids while condemning someone saying a simple word that is said 1,000 times per rap song. Period. Do I agree with Shiloh? Would I say that? No. I do think it's wrong. It's distasteful. A grown woman shouldn't be out here calling kids names. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and act like this is anything compared to what we're seeing coming from this other community that is constantly celebrating murderers and the worst of the worst. Now, with that being said, I just try to call things how I see it. I just try to call it straight up how it is. So I like to be fair. Now, the man who recorded Shiloh, apparently he's a Somalian, in my opinion, probably shouldn't even be in the country in general, but that's neither here nor there. He's a guy who has been accused of R-wording a little girl, doing inappropriate things with like a underage girl, okay? Now, the charges that were against him were dropped. Everyone's calling him names, the P word, all of that stuff. Everyone's calling him these names. But apparently, the charges that were against him were dropped. Now, this is not me defending him, because you'll hear what I have to think about this in just a minute. So I'm not here defending him. But we gotta keep, we gotta keep it totally honest here. It looks like the charges that were against him were dropped. Now, someone who's been accused of this, do they have any business at the playground around kids? No. Do I want to take my kid to a playground where there's a Somalian dude hanging around that's been accused of R-wording underage girls? Do I want to take my kids to a park with those people? Hell no. And those people have no business being near a park. So understand, I'm not defending him, but I do want to make the record clear that apparently these charges were dropped. And this guy actually spoke out. I think he has now deleted his TikTok, but he did speak out about the charges against him. So I want to roll this clip. But first, if you guys like what you see, if you support the channel, if you support the videos, please consider donating via Cash App or Super Thanks, or support the channel for free by liking the video, sharing the video on social media, commenting below and becoming part of the conversation, and subscribing if you haven't already. All of that takes a few seconds and it's free. But with that being said, let's go ahead and roll this clip. Let's listen to what this guy has to say, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Flash news to everybody. if investigations are happening on a serious crime which I was being accused of, was in the past, that I've insulted somebody, assaulted I should say, in the English terminology, which has been proven that I have never done anything wrong, and the case was dismissed. Why am I guilty of something in a court of law dismissed? Tell me, why am I? I'm getting death threats. Why? This is a miracle.
Now, if this was back in the day, and someone said, look, you know, I was found not guilty, I was found to be innocent, or the charges that were against me were dropped, or something along those lines, if this was back in the day, that maybe would have meant something back then. But in the year 2025, especially when dealing with people like that guy, it means absolutely nothing. It means jack shit. You know what I mean? I don't really respect the court of law, the legal system, the justice system, whatever you want to call it. It's a complete joke these days. And people who do horrible things to kids, they're often released right back on the streets. Often their charges are dropped, at least when they look like this guy. When you got these people coming in from these third world countries, when you're shipping people in from Somalia, often their crimes are ignored. Often the crimes they commit are against people within their own community, and their own community won't really turn in their own or hold their own accountable. So unfortunately, we see young girls in these communities be victimized all the time, and the communities will actually protect and support the criminals. They will support the predators. That's what happens in these kind of communities. So his charges being dropped, it's probably by some type of woke judge, right? It's not by someone who's thinking logically, more than likely at least. You know what I mean? We see cases like this all the time. And the fact that these accusations had something to do with a kid that was like in foster care, like a easier target, I don't know. It's just really disgusting. I'm just going to say this. Charges dropped, charges not dropped. I don't really trust this dude. I wouldn't want this dude at my kid's playground. And I don't really believe that he's actually innocent when it comes to what he's being accused of. I think that the court systems just work out in people like his favor these days, which is kind of where all of this frustration is coming from. When you look at the money that Shiloh is raising, it's not because of what she said per se. It's because people are tired of that guy, like the Somalian guy. People are tired of him having his charges dropped when they do horrible things, when they victimize other people and commit crimes. That's one of the reasons why Shiloh's fundraiser is just going through the roof right now. And one of the other reasons why is because this is a direct response to what happened with Carmelo Anthony. And I told you guys, you might remember, go back a few videos. I told you guys that throughout this summer, throughout the coming weeks, months, days, whatever, that there were going to be other racially fueled, racially charged stories that were going to come out that in some way, shape, or form will link up with the Austin Metcalf story and will lead us down a certain path that will most likely end up with some sort of unrest, some sort of protest, riots, what have you. It really feels like we're kind of being strung along. Every couple of weeks, they'll throw out a new story. This one it's really reinvigorated the debates and all the hateful stuff that's going on online right now. It was like dying down. The Austin Metcalf case was kind of dying down. And here's the Shiloh story. Every time one of these stories dies down, they'll throw another one at us, and they're going to keep this thing rolling, okay? I'm not saying that all of these stories are fake or they're all psyops, but I do believe there are powers behind the scenes that are using these stories for to their advantage, and they do have an end game. They do have a motive. They do have, a plan of where they want this to head. Now, will it head to where they want this to head? Maybe not. Hopefully not. But I do believe that there is something more going on behind the scenes with all of this stuff as well. The sad part is, though, that people on both sides, they're going to have their blinders on when it comes to this story. So a lot of them will either be in denial or they won't see that there is something bigger going on here as well. And a lot of it, I think, may even be sort of political, if you want to say that. I don't think it's a coincidence that we're seeing this happen under Trump. In the first 100 days of Trump being president, all of a sudden, we weren't seeing this, a few months ago or 6, 7, 8 months ago under Joe Biden. But all of a sudden, it's like they're really trying to drum up a race war under Trump. And part of the end game is going to be Summer of Love 2.0, race riots like the George Floyd riots. They want that coming back under Trump. And the fact that a lot of people can't see that, it's discouraging to me. That's not me diminishing the problems that we have here. I've been one of the leading voices calling out these problems since the Austin Metcalf case broke. So I'm not diminishing the problems. I'm not acting like these issues and discrepancies don't exist. I'm simply saying that right now there are obviously people taking advantage of people's emotions that are really trying to stir some crap up. And if you don't think that's the case, then I don't know what to tell you, because we've already seen all of this same stuff happen before. History repeats itself. There is nothing new under the sun, ladies and gentlemen. It's just history repeating itself. Maybe in a different way. Maybe it looks a little different. But usually the end game is still kind of the same. But for now, you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.